The sexual allegation circus and the plot to take down the president. That's the focus of tonight's angle. I hate to say, see, I told you so, but I told you so. It's all unfolding exactly as I said it would. On December 6th, when Senate Democrats were giving Al Franken the bums rushed, based on allegations of impropriety he almost entirely denied, what did I say? Now, before you join the march up the castle, to the Castle Frankenstein to capture the monster, I have a word of caution. They've come down with a sudden case of feverish morality, but what it really is nothing more than a political calculation by the Dems. They have two paths to destroy the president. The first is the Mueller investigation. The second way they're going to try to destroy the Trump presidency is the war on women. Yeah, that old saw. They have now determined that it's worth sacrificing Franken, just like they did John Conyers, throw him overboard to save the political Titanic that is their party. Now, one, what does this do? It sets the precedent for the Democrats to try to drive Roy Moore from office should he win the Alabama Senate race. And two, this is the next step in the quest to impeach President Trump. And let me tell you, bingo, like clockwork, it was a coordinated re-airing of the grievances. That began just yesterday, complaints by the same Trump accusers that voters had already heard from before they elected our 45th president. Then, with impeccable timing, a quartet of Democratic senators called on the president to resign. Never mind that the president has long denied the charges, 130 years old, and that there was nothing new in any of them. And in the dangerous climate we have today that the liberals have created, allegations are enough to strip anyone, especially any man, of his career. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is the de facto leader now of the Get Trump crusade. Do you remember her voicing such plaintive concern for Bill Clinton's accusers when he was appearing at her fundraisers? Neither do I. And more troubling, women who are part of the Trump administration seem to be kind of hedging their bets. On Sunday, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley had the perfect opportunity to stand up for the president really strongly and call out this politically motivated hysteria. Instead, she kind of took a pass.
Women who accuse anyone should be heard. They should be heard and they should be dealt with. And I think we heard from them prior to the election. And I think any woman who has felt violated or felt mistreated in any way, they have every right to speak up.
And women who see themselves as presidential material need to be heard most of all. Today, NBC's Megyn Kelly, in what seems to be a new daily feature, showcased another of the old Trump accusers.
I demand that he's subjected to an investigation by the Ethics Committee. I think it's important that we hold this man to the highest of standards. And if 16 women have come forward, then why hasn't anything been done? Where is our investigation?
It's curious, don't you think, how this accuser issued a call for an investigation just as 59 House Democrats released a letter demanding a congressional investigation into these allegations against the president. I'm sure it's all just a total coincidence. Well, here's the reality. Congressional Democrats know that time is not on their side. While Roy Moore was still in the headlines and the Me Too-itis was still all the rage, the liberals had to move. They had to make their move now. You got the booming economy, you got consumer confidence rising, you got these trade deals being renegotiated, you have Trump judges getting confirmed. Things are looking up for the president. So the Democrats needed a new storyline, and this is it. But my friends, do not be fooled. For the party of Ted Kennedy and Bill Clinton, this sexual misconduct crusade has never been about protecting women. It's about taking back power by any means necessary. So now that Mueller's impeachment report is at least somewhat tainted and the president is scoring some big wins, Dems needed chum in the water. This is it. So I say let them eat their own if they wish, but they cannot be allowed to kill off their political adversaries with unproven allegations. And female politicians and activists should also be really careful where they take this. Because someday, maybe, men might decide to turn the tables on them and start launching their own, maybe it's called #MenToo movement, with wild, decades-old complaints against women in positions of power. You don't think it could happen? Just watch. Then who's going to be left to call for some modicum of due process or fairness before lives are destroyed? And that's the angle.